Hello, and welcome to the M3 Bearcast. My name is Malcolm Travers. Male Media Mind is a grassroots organization dedicated to uplifting and unifying our community through dialogue, insight, creativity, and knowledge. And on the M3 Bearcast, I break down topics that I cover on my live streams that are held at youtube.com/malemediamind2. And those conversations are usually around mental health, spirituality, relationships, communication. And in this episode, I'm talking about bare minimums in relationships. I talk about some of the miscommunication bare minimums, specifically dealing with text messaging and talking about the different generations of people who grew up with cell phones in their pockets and social media feeds, the expectation that when someone messages you, you will get an instant reply. But I believe that the idea of bare minimums extends to a great deal of other things. And in some ways, bare minimums are this very insidious expectation that we have of other people that some people feel as if you cannot express them explicitly without breaking some sort of rule of basic humanity. For the instance, having to tell someone the type of gift that you want to receive for your birthday. That might fall under a bare minimum or a certain expectation that you know the types of things that I want to receive for my birthday. Or maybe sometimes an unspoken expectation of the price of the gift that you would send or receive. Some cultures might have thought it too much to buy super expensive gifts for relatives or coworkers, while in others, the higher the price, the more you care about that person. And so if you can't meet a certain bare minimum threshold of the expense of that gift, it may come off as though you don't really care about them. But if you don't ever express the expectations that you have around certain things like the gifts you receive, how can you expect to receive the things that you want? And I get into this conversation with Greg, Devon, and Swag on our live stream. And I played a video from TikTok, a creator who makes a lot of content around philosophy, but also just around culture. And he speaks about an article that he read about this sort of unspoken expectation of how much someone should communicate with someone else. And in this specific example, he was citing someone who was in a long distance relationship. And they went dark for a few hours because they were at a party. And they got wrapped up in the excitement of the party and didn't text their partner. And the partner felt left out because he had this expectation that he would be, cued in on all the important aspects of their life, even the ones where maybe communication would have been going out of their way. Another way you can think of expectations is just the care that's given, the unspoken rules that mean that you care about somebody. It can be difficult to actually say those things out loud because once you do, it's no longer unspoken. Unspoken rules sometimes grant a greater deal of cachet. The idea that I didn't even have to tell you, that you already knew. You know, obviously, once you tell them, it's no longer an unspoken expectation. And maybe there's something to be given up. You lose something by having to ask for what you want. But at the same time, you're also getting what you want. And just because it loses this mythical unspokenness doesn't mean that you aren't as satisfied. Or maybe you are a little less satisfied, but at least you're guaranteeing that you're getting the thing that you want. And I think there's also this other idea that has been creeping in the back of my mind, especially when it comes to some of the content creators that I follow on social media who happen to be neurodivergent, and they do not necessarily have the same thought processes, and they have a much more difficult time reading the minds of other people simply because their minds are just not wired the same way. Obviously, there's a huge spectrum of different types of neurodivergence, but I highly sympathize with these people because sometimes I feel like maybe I might be neurodivergent, but I don't ever think I would test myself. I don't think that I am. Feel sometimes alienated from the thought processes of other people. And so I highly sympathize with the idea that for those of us like me who are neurotypical, but just maybe a little bit aloof, feel left out of these unspoken expectations about the ways that other people should be treated. It behooves me to actually go and ask people what it is you want, how it is you want to be treated, how often do you expect to be contacted, how much is too much, how little is too little. It may seem goofy at the time. It really does feel goofy a lot of times. But at the end of the day, I think it helps people feel loved and heard and seen. And so it's worth the awkwardness. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation I had with Swag, Greg, and Devon. I believe John joins in towards the end of the conversation. You can catch us all on youtube.com/mailmediamind2 every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, here's our conversation. This one is a conversation about bare minimums in relationships. And they're talking specifically about texting and communication. I am so guilty of this one, and I have some questions that I'm going to pose to you guys.
Why?
What's that?
But you have a reason why.
I do. But at the end of the day, other people are not really interested in your reasons why. For the most part.
Okay.
We'll talk about that, yeah, because sometimes when we're talking about bare minimums, if someone can't meet your bare minimums, it doesn't really matter why they can't.
No, but in your case, there's a good reason why.
So there is. I'm just saying. But if someone needs a certain amount of attention or reciprocation to feel wanted and cared about, understanding doesn't change the fact that they feel unloved.
You might need that motherfucker. Go ahead.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So here we go.
I'm reminded of an essay I came across called The Epidemic of Constant Communication. The gist is this girl is at a party and she's having a good time, and so eventually she goes home and she calls her long-distance boyfriend and tells her how much she missed him, and he suggests that she did not in fact miss him because she did not text him once the whole evening. And she responds that, well, she was carried away by the conversation. She was meeting new people, she was having a great time, she completely forgot that she had a phone. But still, in his mind, he felt as though she could have at least texted him once. He viewed her silence as neglect, and she could not see the relationship between the two. This could be one of those stories where we take sides. We could say that the boyfriend is being too needy or he's being too clingy, or we could say that she is being unappreciative of this man. If you truly care for someone, you would think of them over the course of a couple of hours to send them a simple text. So we could take sides, or we could not, because this to me is not really a story of blame. It's a story of bare minimums. The bare minimum is the least amount of love, care, and attention that you need to function, but it's also the most important. So it's the least, but it's also the most important in many ways. And I was struck by the way this was framed in the essay. He saw the silence as neglect. She could not see the connection between the two. This is a difference in bare minimums. I think one of the reasons bare minimums are so complicated is because they seem so basic. It's easy for us to think that everybody shares the same bare minimum. A good morning text, or a good night text, or making dinner every so often. Some of these things fall into the bare minimum category. These things exist in that weird, awkward realm where it feels as though you don't need to communicate them with your partner because everyone should know that these are just bare minimum things. But yet, as the internet has shown us as a generation on this app, the bare minimum is not universal at all and definitely needs to be communicated. This is an important question that we should probably start asking more bluntly when we meet people that we want to build something with. What is your bare minimum? And this is an important question and an important consideration in friendships as well, especially when it comes to the ever more controversial concept of texting. I want to tread very lightly here because that is true. Friendships, most relationships really are contractual in a way. There are things that are expected from your friends. There are things that might be a bit too much to ask of your friends. It is important to keep in mind the almost legalistic boundaries that exist in any relationship. Because if it feels exhausting to respond to your friends, if it feels as though whenever a friend texts you, you take it as them encroaching on your privacy, or you take it as them crossing a boundary, or you take it as them feeling as though they are entitled to your time, that feels wrong somehow. It is a friendship after all. As much as protecting one's boundaries is important, the question must be asked, what is the role of sacrifice in this framework? What is the role of sacrifice in friendships? What is the role of sacrifice in a world where we use a lot of language that is legalistic? Because let's say that you are the kind of person who gets very anxious in responding to texts, and let's say that your best friend is the kind of person that gets really anxious when they are left unread. What happens in this situation? Somebody has to sacrifice something in order to reduce the amount of anxiety that exists between the two of you. In a better world, if you both understood your boundaries, if you both understood your bare minimums, you'd be able to sacrifice more thoughtfully. So maybe person 1 in that scenario responds a bit faster every now and then, and person 2 doesn't text as often as they might like to, knowing that it causes person 1 anxieties. The part of morality involves something like sacrifice. But yet still, there is so much anxiety, so much stress floating around out there. But I think our salvation is out there as well, and we can probably reach it together. It truly is ironic and very much a tragedy that the thing that just might save us, which is communication, is the thing that creates so much of the stress and anxiety within us.
Boy,
So-
that is an Alanis Morissette song waiting to be written. Isn't it ironic? You think?
So I got some questions that I posed from here. Basically, things that we consider bare minimums. And I think he makes a really good point about the fact that bare minimums are something that we expect other people to know. But at the same time, it's, I don't know, things are changing, especially with technology. I think there are certain bare minimums of like values that you should expect someone to care about other people in certain ways. But like, we do approach communication differently. We approach the way that we take care of each other differently. And I think it's reasonable to have a conversation about what boundaries you have, like where does it feel like you're being neglected?
But you also
can't really change that.
Please, but you are correct. But please know that if you are out, you have the right to personhood. You know what I mean? You have the right to autonomy. If now, I speak to everybody on this panel almost once daily. But if I don't think you're ignoring me, I don't think you are, except T'Challa.
Says I will not be ignored.
That's the only person that, and so you have to give your animals a little more attention, seriously speaking. But I think that is a problem with, speaking of animals, but it's the thing about it. I think the technology, as I surround myself with cameras and laptops and doodads and hickey booms, I think it has created that stress.
Yeah.
I need to respond right now. I got to do this right now. And I think that why so many people suffer from anxiety and they suffer from, because I got to do it right now.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, and I set the expectation with my employees. Listen, if you text me, I promise you, my automatic text goes out. I will get back to you within an hour. If it's an emergency, please call.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is this. And so we were talking about before we went to the video about your situation. Get that you're illegally blind, and I will text you a book. I do, because I don't. That's not how I think of my friend of 20 years. And you think that would be the first thing in my mind. No, he's probably one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. And if I have something to say, I'm busy, I'm going to text him. And I'm like, he can't see none of that. So then I have to just call. So I think what I'm trying to say is just set it, and Swag, jump in for me. Set the expectation. If I normally get a text, hey, Bushane, or something, that's what you should expect. You know what I mean? There should be a red flag if you did. You know what I mean? If I don't hear from you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think I have a question. So you out at the Bear Bar, Furry, whatever, wherever y'all go, and whatever y'all do. Plushy, sucky, bucky, whatever y'all do. I don't know.
What are you saying?
I don't know why y'all sitting on here like he go to bed on Mondays. Think he's in them streets, Malcolm. But anyway, back to
my God.
So my question.
Wait a minute. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of M3 and its affiliates. Okay, Greg, go ahead.
They are mine. And I love them. They are mine. I own them. When you meet somebody, when you meet somebody, hey, Mr. Taylor, when you meet somebody like, hey, in what is your preferred mode? You know what I mean? Hey, I'm a texter. I'm not a texter. I'm a phone caller. Bad signals. You can most catch me. A dude told me one night when I first moved to Atlanta, yeah, just send me a message on Instagram. Well, nigga, what you give me your phone number for?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay attention. So you set the expectation, right there. You set the expectation, and you say, okay, and then, so what becomes the problem if they go outside of the expectation, or if you don't set the expectation?
I try not. Me personally, I don't care how you communicate, whether it's through text or phone call or video chat. Now my boundaries are: don't video chat me out the blue, because I will look at you like you're crazy.
African brothers. Do you hear what he said? African brothers. Do you hear?
I do not video chat me out the blue, especially if you're a stranger. That's how you get blocked. But do not video chat me out the blue, because I may be doing something, and I tell people that I'm doing something. Can we video chat? No, I am doing something. but I prefer video chatting. Sir, I can't help you right now. I'm doing something, but we can.
Because they want to pull their meat out. That's all.
Yeah. But anyway, Greg. But no, I don't care. But my thing is, choose one. Don't. I can't stand when people have your number or they have your social media, but when they jump on a different app, I'm like, why do y'all hit people up on different apps? I will never understand.
You on this, but why you going?
Like they'll send you a hey on Facebook, but then text you later on your phone. Hey, how was your day? You asked me this earlier on Facebook. It's the same.
And I
answer
answered you. My answer is not going to change because the platform has changed.
It's not just a bare minimum thing. It's the actual dialogue and the effort people take to communicate. If you ask me how was work at 5:30, don't ask me at 6:30 how was your day. It's the same fucking answer. It's the same answer. It's gonna be the same question.
Listen, y'all. Listen, curmudgeons. Something could have changed in your day.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I feel you though.
Right, but like really think about it. But also, my thing is too, if you got something to say, I think people will ask what you doing 5 times on the road just to get conversation going, or they'll do the same thing over and over again. I'm like, if you got something to say that's on your mind, say it.
Malcolm, that does bring up a very good. I need motherfuckers to take a casual conversation course. I'm gonna make one up and I'm gonna teach it.
Yeah.
You have got to become better with conversational starter people. And it's a generational thing. You can tell how old somebody is with the sup. Or if you think you DM.
Yeah.
Hey, for several degrees, you're not going to do that to me.
This is true. Yeah. I try my best to ask leading questions to people, but then it does feel like I'm being intrusive to them, like getting really personal.
You do have that DA spirit. You do have that district attorney spirit.
Yeah. One of the things I do actually like
have that I need to know spirit.
Go ahead. Yeah. I ask about people's interests, like what, because the truth is a lot of times people just will not want to answer a deep question right out of the way. But I'm just like, you can't say I didn't ask. So what is important to you? Nothing's important to me. I don't find anything. Nothing.
And that right there is a red flag in itself. Nothing in the whole wide world, homie. Nothing. Just out here gang banging and popping it. You just doing.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
So, but I was going to ask, I guess, anyone on the panel, have you ever had that misalignment of bare minimums, whether it be communication or otherwise, like where somebody had an unspoken expectation of your behavior that you were not meeting?
Oh, yeah. And most of the time it was me. It was like,
where you had the expectation?
No, they had it of me. And
okay.
Okay. But I called you yesterday. We just met. And I called you yesterday.
Right. And it's the same thing. I text you yesterday. We just talked yesterday.
I just met you the day before that.
Right. That was yesterday. Today is today.
You'll get, hey stranger. I'd be like, Negro, we talked 2 days ago. What you mean, stranger?
When you said that one, now the one that I hate is you're having a conversation with somebody, and then all of a sudden they just go silent on you. And then 6 months later, hey stranger, what's up? Hadn't heard from you in a while. Yeah, because the last time I texted you, you ain't said shit back. You text back. I text you, you text back. If I text you and you don't respond, and I text you again and you don't respond, I'm thinking you're done. And I'm not gonna say anything more. Exactly. Don't then come up to me 6 months later talking about I never did hear from you. Bitch, I texted you last. Look,
I had to screenshot somebody our conversation to prove my point. Yes, I have the receipts, Negro. Here, right here on the screen. I said
and then you know what they say? Oh, I forgot to hit send. Bitch, bye.
That does happen sometimes.
Bitch, I ain't heard June of 22.
You since 2023, and
I have been on unread since 2015, and then you want to come back up talking about, hey, stranger.
Oh God, yeah.
4 kids at the age of 5.
If you not carry your ass,
Nigga, I've been married, divorced, and 4 kids and a new husband.
And then they'll ask, what's new with you? What's been going on? I'm like,
let me give you some 52-year-old wisdom. Let me tell you what happened. You didn't win the lottery prize, okay? They made a choice of somebody else, okay? And
I know what you're talking about.
Right, it didn't work out. So now you boo-boo the fuck.
Right.
Gang bang for the last 12 months, right?
Gang bang.
Railed. absolutely railed. Just railed. Gang and prostituted, sold into black slavery. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh my
So
god.
that's one of the black slavery.
They're one side here alone, and their hole is healed from all the railing. Mr. Taylor, then they'd be like, I would like to date now.
After they went out there, right. After they went out there and sold their royal oats or got their walls disintegrated, now they want to come back and date.
Then they then went to Home Depot and bought new walls.
At Home Depot?
Yeah, they had to get them rebuilt. You know what I mean? Because she was nice. He paid for the food. He was respectful. So I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna put on my church hat. They come to you like the church lady. God bless you. How you doing? How you been? Fool, if you don't get the fuck out, get on. Who this?
Get out my face.
Or you be like, who this?
Who this?
Well, one time I answered the phone and I was like, hello? Hey, Greg, remember me? Hold on for a minute. Hey, babe, can you make me some mustard? Right now for me, right? Oh, you busy? Yeah, baby. I tell you, I'm busy. Who this? I paid for your food and you didn't return my call. Oh, I hope. No, you go ahead now.
Oh, God.
Even though you set the expectation, life happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. But to answer your question, to clarify, one should set the expectation. One should set the expectation. And to be clear, so in your case, Malcolm, please listen, I am sight challenged. So I may not honestly see your goddamn text message.
Yeah.
Because I forget, bitch. I'll be like, type in a book, be like, hey, we need to do this. And you be like,
something else that comes up now. I'd listen to a lot of audio content.
Okay.
And I don't like to get messages while I'm listening. So I put
but you do have do not disturb on because I
put on do not disturb. And then
I about that. I get that do not disturb, bitch.
Just understand that people have things that they are doing. Like you can't always just stop everything you're doing to respond to a text. So I will respond. It won't be 5 weeks from now, but I will respond when I get a chance and just be patient. I think that's fair.
Exactly.
To me, that's the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. It's like I will respond, but don't expect a response like within 5 seconds.
I think a lot of people make a lot of assumptions based on very little information.
They do.
Like when
they're not busy, you're not busy. Nah, bitch.
And then, so what if I'm not busy? Like maybe I don't want to talk to you right now. It doesn't mean that I don't like you.
Oh, you are when you're dealing with you read the book. But I don't take it seriously because goddamn human. I don't know what you do. Especially if we just met. I particularly don't know what your job entails. You might be an ass wrangler. Be the nigga that you might be a fluffer for porn films. Your mouth might be.
You might be in the back room getting the strippers ready, getting them.
Might be in the back getting.
Oh god.
But my thing too is like when a person says they'll come hang out with you or they'll come see you and then they don't show up, no call, no show. This is like a job, no call, no show. You know, I may give you an olive branch and be like, okay, I understand life happens, but you need to communicate.
But no, you don't call back that day or that within some hours and say, hey, my car broke down. Even shit like my bestie called and needed to see me. Oh, human. Or I was tired. I went to sleep. And I woke up, I went back to sleep. That is feasible. That is humanly possible and feasible. Because, nigga, I have done it. If you've worked a job where you work 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, and you're trying to date on the slide, and you just sit down, and when you sit down, you go out.
Truth be told, you don't have much control over that. Not just that one moment, and then you wake up 5 hours later, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But your duty is to call home.
That's true.
And so I was living in New York. And my New York experience was for years. I lived in New York. I worked in New York and DC. I worked in both places. And I got home Wednesday nights from DC. And I'm trying to go to the club and get me a date, right? One Wednesday, so I said, we'll have dinner. My little Jewish friend, we'll have dinner after I get off the train. But it's better if you just go ahead and meet me in Times Square while I'm down there. Oh, no, go home, kick your shoes off. Now, this is going to be a problem. I'll put your shoes off my motherfucking feet. It's over.
I'm in the house. Yeah.
So, I woke up the next morning, I don't know, 4 or 5. And I texted him like at 7. I was like, yo, I'm so sorry. I fell asleep. All men are this thing. Oh, my God. Men are just, you guys are awful. I'm sorry? Just awful. You're just lying like my father. I said, you need to see a therapist. You got it.
Red flags. I'm telling you. I was about to say, look, we need a sound for red flags or something. Buzzer working for now, but we need a.
Where's that buzzer?
That is definitely it.
So pull the list back up. Let's pull some other things up.
Yeah, there were questions that
because I've seen a couple. Number 7 is troubling. Number 7. Have you ever felt guilty for needing more communication than someone else wanted to give? How did you navigate that feeling? Never.
You never felt guilty.
You know what I mean? I've learned.
Well, I won't say it's necessarily on them, but it's just your communication styles are just incompatible.
Correct.
It's not their fault and it's not your fault. It's like some people do need that constant stroking of the ego and the constant like replying every 5 seconds. And some people like, if I run 5 hours, they'll be all right.
Yeah, I feel you on that though. You're right that you shouldn't have to feel guilty about that.
What is this? John, come on up here. Let me spank your hand. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I was a no call, no show. I fell asleep after work. So
I love you, man. Mr. Taylor, I think you should let your partner know what your bare minimums are without demanding it from them. Personally, I don't require people to text me back right away. People do have lives and they do take nerve. I get it. A friend of mine got angry and I picked up the phone. He left me a nasty message, and I called him and told him we ain't fucking. What the fuck?
Oh,
the hand that feeds me is the hand that rocks the cradle. Just kidding. Thank you, Mr.
We're not in a relationship. What is your problem?
Right. What is your problem?
Yeah, dude. Like,
and even if we were, what is the problem?
If they not providing one of the 3 F's, they get bare minimal attention. And we do know what the 3 F's are, right?
Feeding, fucking, and financing.
Correct.
Like if you're not feeding me, fucking me, or financing me, why you so worried? Why you all about my business?
All right, and that'll do it for this episode of the M3 Bearcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you would like to become a financial supporter of Male Media Mind, go to patreon.com/malemediamind. As a patron, you'll get access to our after shows. We often kick it a little bit for maybe like half an hour after the recording and just, talk with each other and our patrons, giving them an insight into our thought processes and our plans for future content. We also have a Telegram group that we talk to our patrons in, as well as several adult Telegram groups, a Discord server, a book club, and we're always looking for more ways to say thanks to our patrons. If you're looking for a non-financial way to support Male Media Mind, simply rate us on your podcatcher. You can also post this episode on social media and share our podcast with a friend. Again, thank you for listening, and I'll catch